And this concludes the program. Just feel free to, if you would like to take some chairs, move them around, make yourself more comfortable. Go back in, as Joanne said, enjoy the refreshments, and be sure and go out and look at this little house. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't like experience? He doesn't want to experience. Yeah. She's right over there. That's Joe. That's Joe. Oh, huh? That's where they were born.
Who, Badger?
Huh?
Who?
See ya, Robert.
I didn't know if you remembered the weather or not. No? Oh, I'm one. That's it. And the way you remember it, it sounds like books. And we've got 25,000 books in here that I have to keep up with most of the time. But this week is a very special week in Hitchcock. This is the week that we choose to honor a group of people that came to Hitchcock a long time ago from Italy. And this is Italy. And they came from the northern part of Italy as well as the southern part of Italy. This is the southern part. Some of them came from Palermo, and some of them came from little towns right up in here. And they had to come a long way. You know, there weren't jets in those days, so they traveled by boat. And the boat trip from Italy took, I think in some cases, 20 days. Can you imagine being in a boat for 20 days? And this is where they came to. They came to Hitchcock eventually. And this map tells the name of the families that came. And I'm going to read you some of the names because I bet they're names you might have heard before. Alexandri, Reno, Matranga. Any of you know any Matrangas? Yeah, I see some that know Matrangas. Terrasso, Lucetta, and Shiro. Now, did any of you know about Shiro? Do any of you play baseball? Any baseball players in here? Well, do you know the street that the baseball field's on? That's Shiro Road, and that's what. And the road was named for the Italian families that settled here a long time ago. So this is what we're going to talk about today: the people that came in the early 1900s, and they came from their home in Italy, and they had to leave everything they knew. They had to leave their mothers and their fathers and their cousins. They had to leave their whole life, but they came here to look for a better way to live. Because life was really hard in Italy. And you know, they ended up here in Hitchcock. And what they did was use some of the best vegetables that you could ever imagine. And back then, Hitchcock was a major vegetable producing place. We were the second largest vegetable producing town in the whole United States. And that's where they came from. And now, I'm going to take you into the other group, and we're going to have displays in there that the families, these Italian families, and there were 17 of them that came to Hitchcock from Italy before 1920. And they came over here in search of a better life. And that's the way a lot of people came to America, because they were looking for something better. And that's what happened there. Now, in that room, each family was kind enough to lend us, just for this week, because this is Italian Heritage Week, things that they brought from Italy, pictures, family pictures that go way, way back. And that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to walk into that room. I do ask that you don't touch anything, back in 1979, she decided, a group of us went to her and we said, Miss Genevieve, did you ever think about what you would do to your land when you die? Because she fell in love with you. She said no. And we asked her if she would consider giving it to us to build a library. And you know, that lady said yes. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. And she never had any children. She lived in that little bitty house out there, all by herself. But she was known and loved by every single person in history. And so that's why we named this library the Genevieve Miller Hitchcock Public Library, which is a long time, but that's why we did it. And so we're going to go out to her house, and it has taken us. When we built the library, we moved the house over there. But do you know it's taken us 15 years, which is way too long, to get that house all fixed up. And it's going to be the Hitchcock Museum. And we already have some things out there that pertain to the history of Hitchcock, because Hitchcock has a very rich history. And what I want you all to learn from this day is that the history really tells us. I know sometimes in history class you're kind of bored and you think, why do I have to hear about what these people did a long time ago? Well, the reason is, if you look back in time and see what people did a long time ago, and sometimes they made mistakes, and sometimes they did the right thing. You know, it helps us know what we need to do now. So that's why history is so important. But we think local history is really important. By local, you know what I mean? I mean history right around here. The history of the place you live. Because you think sometimes, Hitchcock's just a little old town. You think, oh, nothing good ever happened here, you know? But you know what? There has been a lot of very famous people, just famous people, but they have done a lot of wonderful things that y'all need to learn about. So you ready to go back to the room? And what I'm going to do, we're going to go from family to family, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each family. So, and these are those Italian families that came to Hitchcock before 1920. And some of them are kind of hard to pronounce. There's Colania, Lucetta, Romato, Delisandri, Lasali. They used to call them Lasali, but they kind of shortened it. And that often happened when people came to America. Maybe the Americans couldn't say them the way that correctly. It should be Lasali, but through the years they shortened it. Now they call themselves LaSalle. And this is the Cortesi family, the Colania family, the Beltrami family, Cortino family, Tabaldo. Can anybody pronounce this one? You want to try? Who can read that for me? Can you try it? Guanado. Close. Anybody else? Guanado. Keep going. It's hard. Guanado. Anybody else? That's what you do. Okay. It is hard. Gennaro. Gennaro family. How about this one? You want to give that a try? Gennaro. That's the way it looks to us, but in Italian they pronounce different letters differently than we do, so it's really hard. They call themselves Gino family. Gino. This is the Shiro family. And here's the Matranga. And there is a street at this top named Matranga Drive. How about this one? Anybody want to try that one? Nambino. Close. Anybody else? That's real close. Cambiano. Cambiano. Frino. And Namola. But I can't say it the way they do. They say Mamola. They draw it out. So those are the families that we honored. And we had a special program for them at the library yesterday, because we thought it was time that somebody told them thank you for all the things they've done to make Hitchcock a better place. And I'm going to start with Lasali, and I want to show you a very, very important document that the Lasali family has loaned to us. This was their immigration papers. When they came over on the boat from Italy, these papers that, the original papers that gave them citizenship. Like, okay, these were probably a little later. They were their citizenship papers. They had to go through a lot of work to be an American citizen. They had to study. Now, they're now American citizens just like you are. With you, if you're born here, you're an American citizen. They had to study. They had to do lots of things. And they were very, very proud of this. This was their American citizenship papers. And this is the way they looked. And they got these in 1939 and 1940. So how old do you think that makes it? Very old, isn't it? And you can even see the back of it. And it tells, and it says, now this was the D'Alessandri family, and it says the name was changed from Stefano D'Alessandri to John as part of the naturalization. A lot of times that happens. His name in Italian was Stefano. But you know what? He wanted a more American sounding name, so they changed it to John. And that's really sad because, you know, it's nice that people keep their heritage, but that's what happens sometimes. Does anybody know what that is? A lamp. That was long before there was electricity. They put gas in here, and that's how you had to study. There was no electricity. You had to study by a lamp like this. This lamp is probably 75 years old. And we don't want to break it. So the family very graciously lent it to us. And this is the D'Alessandri family. And they came from Palermo, Italy, which was way down at the bottom of Italy in 1908. How many years ago was that? Can anybody do some quick math or something? 90 years ago. That's when they came over here.
They were amazing and funny.
Yeah, they were. A lot of our Italian families served in World War II. And here is the original couple that came. This man and this man. This man and this lady. And look at all the children they had. And do you know that from those two people, after they had children and the children had children, they're probably 100 to 150